Welcome to CMS Products tutorial videos. The purpose of this video is to get you started with our BounceBack backup software. We recommend that you set up and schedule at least 3 types of backups. Once you are comfortable with BounceBack's interface and its many different features and had a chance to review the user guide, you can get creative and set things up to your liking. Assuming you have installed BounceBack and looking at the home screen, the first thing you want to do is get an image backup of your computer. An image backup takes a complete snapshot of your computer's disk drive, which will include your operating system, your programs, and all your files. In case your drive fails or something happens to your computer, you can recover by restoring the image onto a new drive or a new computer. Let's get started by setting up and scheduling an image backup. From the home screen, click the image backup icon. On the next screen, select Launch Image Backup Tool and click Next. The image backup tool will load, and here you have the option of doing an image backup, restoring an image backup, and creating a boot disk and other tools which we'll not get into in this video. Click the backup button and next. This screen will show you all disks attached to your computer. Here you will select the disk you want to image, the backup type, image type, and the destination where you want the backup to be saved. I am going to select my disk 0, which contains my C partition. This partition has the operating system and all my programs and files. I will select backup type full and image type used sectors. Then I will browse and select my CMS backup disk. This is where I will save my image backup. Here I have created a couple of folders to organize my different backups. You may or may not want to do this, it's up to you. By default, the name of backup file will be backup image, a dash, and today's date. I will leave that as is. You can change it if you like. Click Next, and the next screen will show a summary of settings, and if you're ready, click Finish and BounceBack will get to work. Depending on the size of your drive and its content, this process will take some time. I will be back once it's done. I am back, and as you can see, the imaging process completed successfully, and it took about 12 minutes in our case. Let me show you the backup file here. It's about 15 gigabytes. My C drive contained around 19 gigabytes of data. So BounceBack's compression saved me about 20% storage for this image file. Not bad. Once you have an image backup, it's a good idea to go ahead and create a boot disk for your computer. A boot disk comes in handy once if your drive crashes and you have no way of booting your computer to restore your image. You can create a boot disk from the same image backup tool screen that we loaded earlier. So here you would click boot disk and try creating a boot disk using the simple method. If that doesn't work, select advanced and follow instructions. You will need to download certain files from Microsoft in order for the advanced method to work. So create a boot disk on a CD or preferably a flash drive to go along with your image backup. Now that we have an image backup and a boot disk, we want to schedule an image backup every month. We recommend imaging your disk every month or when you make major changes to your computer. To schedule an image backup, from the home screen, click Image Backup. On the next screen, select Image Backup Schedule and click Next. Select Backup Type Full and click Next. On the next screen, you will be presented with a list of drives attached to your computer again. I will select my disk 0, as I did before, and click Next. Now we give this a name. And set the destination. I will pick my CMS disks and my image backups folder. I'm going to leave image type as used sectors, and I'm not going to do anything after the backup. However, I am not going to overwrite my previous image backups. I'm going to keep them and click Next. On this screen, I will set the schedule. I want this to run monthly. The first run to be, say, tomorrow at 10 p.m. exactly, and repeat on the first of the month every month. Now, BounceBack will need to log in when the time comes, when the scheduled time comes. So I'm going to run it as a specific user. This is the name of the computer and my username, which filled in automatically. I just need to add my password here and make sure it's correct, and click on Finish. I have a schedule set up now. If I go to my Schedule tab, I will see my monthly image backup set up to run tomorrow, and it's waiting to be run. You can see that on your home screen as well. We now have an image backup, a boot disk, and a monthly schedule for future image backups. We now want to set up file backups. By file backups, I mean your data files such as your documents, spreadsheets, pictures, music, videos, and so on. We recommend making a weekly full backup and a daily incremental or differential backup of your data files. In order to do this, from the home screen, click the Start button. On the next screen, give it a name. Weekly full backup, I will call mine. And select the folders you want to backup. Avoid selecting the entire drive. Your image backup takes care of that. Select only the folders that you save your files to. Windows automatically creates a user-specific data folder under Users folder. Users folder is on your C drive's root, and you may want to select the Users folder to back up data files for all users. Next, you select the destination for this backup. In my case, it's been CMS disk, and this time I will put it in my file backups folder. I want to give this a meaningful name. This is the media, well, in essence, the file name that the backup will be saved to. I will call this weekly full and click OK. Next, you will set the settings here. I'm not going to change much. Make sure your backup mode is full. Click OK. And next you will schedule this. After saving it, of course. Save. Now we've done this before. We will select weekly. First run this Saturday. How about 9 p.m. and repeat every week. Set the credentials. I will enter my password. Test it and click OK. Now I'm ready to start the backup, the first one, the first full data backup, and I've scheduled it to run weekly. I'll click the backup and let it start the process. This also may take a few minutes depending on the content of your user's folder. I will be right back once the process completes. So our full data backup just completed successfully. As you can see, there was 3,877 files, about a gigabyte worth of data that was backed up in about a minute 24 seconds. We can go to our logs, open the logs if you want to see the detail of the backup that was just done. It gives you some information here, and you can list all the files that were backed up. We can also check the schedule. As you can see, we have a monthly image backup and a weekly full backup. We'll move to the next step. Next, we want to do a daily incremental or differential backup. This is so that we have a backup of the files that are added daily or modified daily, and in order to do that, you can click on Start, but I have an easier way to do this. We just did a full backup, weekly full backup. So if you clicked on the Backup tab, you will see the same settings as we selected earlier for our full backup. We only want to make some minor changes to this. I will change the name to Daily File Backup. Selection of folder stays the same. I will select the destination to be the same. File backups. Change the media name to be Daily Diff. And under settings, I'm going to go ahead and change this to differential. Now, there's a small difference between incremental and differential. Incremental backups back up the files since the last incremental backup. So it's easier. The differential backup backs up all the files since the last full backup. It's easier to restore differential backups. It takes up a little more room, but I prefer differential to incremental. I will select differential, click OK, and schedule this after saving it as. So I don't want to overwrite that information. I'm just going to save this as daily full backup, and then change the schedule to be daily starting tomorrow, and I want it to run every day except Saturday, which I scheduled my full backup to run. My password is already here, so I'm going to check it, click OK, and ready to run a daily differential backup. Be right back. So our differential backup completed successfully. There was around 38 files that needed to be backed up, about 12 megabytes, and took about 27 seconds. We've scheduled the 3 types of backups that we wanted to schedule, and now we have them all scheduled to run. One last thing we want to do is retention. If you keep backing up these files daily, weekly, monthly to your backup drive, eventually you'll fill it up. So that's why you want to do a retention backup or check that will delete older files, older backup files for you. The way you do that, from the schedule tab here, click on backup retention, and you can set the retention settings of the way the retention is going to work. I'm going to pick age here, normal and image backups to process, and I want to keep only 2 months, nothing older than that. So I will select 2 there and click on save. This will save to the utility folder, and you need to know that because you're going to schedule it. My backup retention is the name of the file, and click save. Now I want to add this to a schedule so that it runs automatically. I will select the job name, the one that I just created, my backup retention. I will schedule this weekly, say every Saturday just before my 10 p.m. weekly full schedule. So I'll say 9 p.m. every week. Put in your credentials. Check, and OK. So now I have a schedule for a daily, monthly image, weekly full, and a backup retention. We're all set. That concludes the demo, and thank you for watching.